Good morning. It's Saturday, December 21st, and this is the Wall Street Weekly Wrap Up with your host, John Newquist. An ugly week with a capital U. It may have had a great day today, but boy, I tell you what, we'll talk about that Wednesday with the Fed. Holy smokes, it was bloody. And the Bears won the week. But we'll take some news. I'll start with the first two stocks that we have. Alphabet's Waymo, which has got autonomous driving now. Baidu in China now, Tesla 2028. Just remember that. 3 years head start. Everybody wants to speculate on Tesla. I should have put the Tesla chart, but I didn't. But the whole thing is that now they're going to go to Japan. I mean, this is huge. I just did the math. Let's say I was an Uber driver at $15 an hour and I work 2,000 hours a year. That's going to be $30,000 a year. How much of a car discount is there? You see these cars in China, they're not even 30,000. You just saved the labor cost alone by doing autonomous. That's why I'm starting to really hesitant to be picking and going after Uber. Uber's got to join that market or license the technology because this is going to be in there. I can imagine my town. I don't need a driver. Just get in the thing, goes. Got to go downtown Chicago, get in there, sleep on the way. I don't even have to pay attention. Remember, you're not driving. Not like a Tesla where you have to kind of pay attention, autonomous, but it's there. And Tokyo, I don't think Tokyo's bad. I think it's very organized, good clean city, and expensive and hot in the summer. But this is a good news. I mean, you got to talk about it. How can Baidu and Google license it across the world? The world. So this is what I'm getting excited about. I think Google's on a right track. Waymo's, I see it good. I did see some idiots beating up a car and taking a baseball bat, but they have places called prisons. NVDA. I looked at this thing, the Jetson Orin Nano Super. It holds in your hand, and it's 70 trillion operations a second. I think somebody had to show that they had some quantum computer ability too. The Pentium, remember the Pentium, 20 years ago? Billion calculations a second. The i9's probably, tens of billions of dollars. So I'm going to think it's about maybe 17 times faster than the i9 by Intel. I don't know. You never see these numbers put out, but $249. Wait a minute. There's my cell phone. I could make a big cell phone and have my phone crank out 70 million operations a second. That's beyond me for $249. And of course, I'm not going to buy it. It'd be tempting to buy it, just put it on the wall and everything else. But the software update is going to have a lot, and it's just giving people a chance to get into this thing. And he doesn't use the word AI. It doesn't use the word quantum and stuff. But it's something to think about. All the indicators are about as interesting as anything else, and we got the cut. Again, we're going to talk about the cut, but we got the cut this week, 25 basis points, and of course the rates went up again. 3 cuts, 3 increases of rate. This is killing the homeowners, which we'll talk about. Toll Brothers. And I watched Austin Goolsbee, the Fed governor from Chicago. It'll go down next year. It's going to get close to the 2% goal. All right, there's a disconnect. And 1 or 2 good inflation reports could drop this a lot. And I think you're going to have to be in the home builders this year coming up in 2025 because they got the demand. And if the rates do actually drop, you're going to see a flood of people coming in. So it's interesting. Crude oil playing around in 70, give or take. 66 1 week, 75 another week. Natural gas, I put the chart up because, okay, it's up there. Remember, I always used to joke we got plenty of natural gas, and we do. And it's, $3 was a ceiling for a long time. But I just said, look, we're at $3.74, really a kind of almost a multi-year high. You got to go back to 2022 when my bill was $400 a month for natural gas, heat.
This is a reminder. Secret walls and cryptocurrency.
Okay, Alexa, stop.
This is a reminder. Secret walls and cryptocurrency.
Wallets. Alexa, say wallets. Alexa, say wallets. She didn't like that. See, she's already protesting. I am not going to speak. I didn't mumble. I know you did. You said walls. You didn't say wallets. Yes, the FTX investigations show 8% of the Solana was in secret wallets that nobody knew about before. And of course, could this be in Bitcoin? Who knows? This is the whole thing with crypto. You got to be careful. You don't want to be putting 25% of your savings, or like one guy that said, oh yeah, I got 1.5 million who eats a lot of pizza. All right, average cost of $100,000 of Bitcoin. Ugh, not really cheap. Not he's buying it at the retail. You just got to think about that. We'll talk about it, but I mean, you don't know. That's the whole unregulated scam thing that you got to watch out about. And you know, I like Solana. I mean, we bought some, but you know, I think these secret wallets are a problem, especially if you make the currency and you don't know how much out there is in there, and you can list something but keep a secret wallet of, you know, 1 million, 25 billion, who knows. But natural gas is up there. This is a high time, and what I start to think, it's been a cold winter. At least I think it's been a cold winter. Nothing really in the polar vortex range, but it's cold, and I think this is going to get up higher. You know, we could get down to this little spike here. You know, could we have $5 natural gas? I hope not. I hope not. Gold been around at 2,700, a little bit below this time, and silver went down from 32 to 30 bucks, and copper still floating around because we cannot get the economy going in Europe and China. So you know, copper's going to be low. That's my barometer of, you know, economic activity. Copper. Our portfolio going down just like everything else did. We're up 37%. Oh my God, we're only up 37%. That's, you know, people would love to have that every year. I mean, I would love to have that every year, but it's done great. I mean, we always compare ourselves to NASDAQ. We're still 13% above the S&P 500, which is our benchmark. I said NASDAQ. I don't mean that. The Dow, I had to put this chart up. 9 straight days it went down. Wow, what a hammer. And you know, this is tough. You know, nobody really buys the Dow. You buy the S&P, you buy the QQQs and stuff. But 37.5. Oh, I put 4. Well, that's close enough. Again, the Russell's looking at down. I mean, you know, this is not too good. So both of them are doing pretty poorly, but we're doing good. Again, we're staying with 5 to 20% correction by January 20th. And we'll see. We've got about 3% now, so wouldn't take much more to get down there. The Fed. Oh, look at the Fed. We go out and announce the thing, and then we put some statements. We're going to give 50 basis points in 2025. Instead of 4 cuts of 25, we're going to go get 2. Oh my God, the market just fell off the chair. Dow went over 1,000 points negative, and I just put the numbers down because, you know, this is almost halfway right in one day for our correction. If you're looking at 5%, it did bounce up today, but it's you know, that's not what everybody want to hear. You know, if you're a home builder, you'd kind of like hoping for 4 cuts and eventually the rates to drop down. And no, that's why home builders are just in a world of hurt right now. And I guess Bitcoin, you know, this secret wallet, you know, nobody knows because we got all these people who got, you know, billions of dollars of Bitcoin dumping it, and you know, it gets up to 108, I think it was this week, and now it's down 10%. Wow. You got to have stomach to deal with this one. You know, like I said, no more than 2.5. You know, if we got 40 stocks, 2.5 in each stock, so on and so on, and Bitcoin is in there. Of course, Bitcoin isn't in our portfolio as a stock on our count, you know. If you've been following us, we bought at 16, sold at 27, we bought at 60, and we're holding. So, no big deal. We're going to start easing in these other ones too, because I think this administration is going to be very pro-crypto, and I can't tell you which ones are going to do the best, but right now, Bitcoin's way above everybody else, and I think everybody else will catch up. Novo Nordisk went down like a rock. I mean, down 17% when I last looked at it. Oh my God, we only get 22% weight loss after 60 weeks versus 25%, which is like the Lilly standard. Big deal. So if I was a 200-pound person and I lost 44 versus 50 pounds, you'd be happy. You know, it's not everybody can use every medicine. There's side effects for some that don't get it on other ones. So you got 2, and Novo Nordisk is I like it. We're going to stay with it. It's, you know, them and Lilly are doing well. This market is huge with there's billions of pounds of people to lose, you know. And I'm going to tell you, alcohol's dropping because people are telling me we're not drinking so much, not eating so much. And guess who's getting affected by that? You know, Brown's Foreman and AmBev and all these other companies are saying, wow, little less alcohol. Of course, they always say, well, it's just marijuana, but no, they are drinking less alcohol, you know. And Micron, you know, again, I highlighted the word guides below consensus. This is not the year to be guiding below consensus because they take it down. The market just does not want to deal with that. And, you know, you'd be better off just trying to say lower the estimates for next quarter and stuff. But, you know, go conservative and then try to make those. But otherwise, if you kind of talk about how good you are and everything else, I mean, this has been brutal. What, close to 160 down to 90, you know. Whew.
This is a reminder. Talk about Palantir.
I didn't put Palantir on the thing.
This is a reminder. Talk about Palantir.
I think Palantir price to sales is like 160. Is that right? I didn't look because, you know, it's got growth, but it's not definitely going to be the one down there. I mean, people are buying it because of the stuff with AI. Well, they got government contracts. A lot of their money is government contracts. And they're not buying billions of dollars of AI chips, so they're going to use somebody else's AI servers. I think there's a lot of hype in Palantir. There's just the hype train. People think it's good. The CEO talks so tough, and I just don't want any part of it, you know. Microsoft, here's a good number. This is the first time. 485,000 NVIDIA chips. Now, we don't get to know how many Blackwell or Grace Hoppers. Grace Hopper's a first-generation NVIDIA chip. Blackwell is what's coming out now. I'm telling you, the data center, as President Biden said, going to be the first AI data center in the whole country up in Wisconsin. Yeah, they are ready for it. They're going to make a fortune. Everybody's waiting for it. You know, I'm watching even Sam Altman talking about we need more money to buy chips because the next generation's here. I just got Google Advanced 2.0. Ding, 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 another Google thing. I haven't used it a lot. It does seem more comprehensive and lengthy when it answers, which is what I like when I have to do my work. And I gave it a spreadsheet of, I don't know, hundreds of entries with issues, and it analyzed it all and broke them down to 12 different things that I wanted to. And you know, this is gonna. I mean, what does it take me hours to do this work, and it does it in a few seconds. This is, like I said, I show my students. AI is the assistant. It doesn't do it perfectly, but oh my God, it saves you hours of work. I mean, that's how I look at it. You know, they want it perfect. No, they got to be perfect. It'd be like hiring a person, but you don't have to do that work yourself, and you just clean it up, and that's good. That's a good chip. The most, twice as many. Microsoft is smart. They're betting on it. Of course, the stock, like NVIDIA, has gone sideways since, you know, essentially June, July. You know, if we say the peak was in July, we're still below the peak. Okay, good. But, you know, we go over here, it's still up. And we're going to be in it. We're big, you know, it's one of our top 7 positions, I want to say. Merck, $2 million to develop the biotech oral obesity drug in China. Of course, you know, we don't get to see a lot of stuff on it. And it's supposed to work. Now, of course, these pharmas and healthcare have been beaten up ever since July. It has just been nonstop. And everybody's in the bucket getting the blazes kicked out of them. So, again, we've rode Merck up, we've rode Merck down, and we're going to stay with it because when we get some breakthroughs on AI, it's got to be the people who can afford to do the stuff with AI. You know, if you're working on this, you can have every single study, trial, all the data, and the computer could say, you know what, why don't you try this with it? Because it had a little bit of results in the Chinese study of 2021. Something that wasn't positive. You know, these are things I can see AI do. Aggregate all these trials in a few seconds, look at the data, look at the results, pick out the anomalies, be able to sit there and say, no. You got 5 people with this characteristic, that's why they had side effects. Wow, okay, look for this kind of issue. They're not going to be a candidate. They're going to be one of the people you couldn't take the drug. So I just see this as so huge because, you know, they're going to do a lot of stuff with healthcare. and it's going to be the big ones. I looked at, I always look at what makes the new high, and I'm going to say GKOS. That's what I'm going to call it, because glaucoma, I just thought it was fascinating, this eye stent, a micro stent, instead of a stent to open up an artery. It's used in the eye, and they do a lot of stuff. Again, they're pharmaceutical, so they're kind of negative earnings. You just got to toss it. But, chart-wise, it's pretty good. They got a lot of support, and I just thought, if you got the ability to make micro stents, where could you use it? Well, you could use it in your brain. You could use it in other parts of your body that you might need to have something opened up besides just the regular, arteries to the heart and things like that. And then you start taking it in, for other things like drug delivery and everything else. So just one we're looking at. We might buy it in the area. I have to do more research on it, but I just thought, well, let's take a look at it. Because there was 5 of them, and I decided, okay, this is the one I thought was kind of intriguing with the story. The VIX, again, shot up a lot. The second highest increase from the previous VIX low. I mean, we've had VIX a lot higher than all these numbers, but it's the percent. Tom Lee thinks this is an important number. He thinks it's going to go great. Ready for the rally. Again, remember, he's predicting 7,000, drop down to about 6,000, and probably end at 6,600. I'm not a VIX put call guy. I mean, there was a time I looked at it like anything else, but after a while I just said, just stick with the fundamentals. You can look at this, you can chase this kind of momentum play and do that, but if you're in for the long term, this doesn't really affect you. I mean, what are you going to do? Buy more now? No, you can do that anytime. So FedEx was earnings today or yesterday, and they were interested. I always look at Expo, GPO, and all that stuff from the trucking side. FedEx Freight make a new company, i.e. that we can't make the one company work, so we'll split it up into companies that may not be doing it. Only GE, when they split up, I thought did the best. Most of the time it gets, doesn't do as good. So the earnings results, it's good. I mean, it's good earnings. Revenues are flat. Flat revenues, not like what we want to see. We want to have growth, and FedEx is not the growth person. They've been cutting costs, but you got to make revenue. I mean, you can make money. Yeah, okay, the earnings are up, but, we're just flat. We're stagnant. And that's my, say, okay, it's the Apple of transportation and stuff. Of course, lowering the guidance, they kind of shrugged that one off, but I think it's going to go down lower. XLB, the materials spider or sector ETF. Look at this one. This is like a chart downhill.
This is a reminder. Am I done with selling this year?
Yes.
Is a reminder.
The answer is short.
Am I done with selling this year?
We're going to talk about. We sold some stocks. We'll cover it at the end. AMZN. We went in there and sold Constellation, Pfizer, and Siri. And just kind of lightening out the portfolio. We're there's no specific time, but the market was rallying, and I remember seeing Siri was up like 12-15%. I said, okay, these are the stocks that we didn't even get into half positions at. They're like 10th and a little bit lower, so we just got rid of them. I mean, generally, like I said, I like to ease into positions. I don't like throwing one unit in the whole thing. If one unit is 1/40th of our portfolio, I don't want to buy it all right away. I'd like to ease into it and just see if we're right, and then add as it grows and gets better. That's my way to do it, and that's what keeps you alive. If it's bad, I was kind of joking, like, okay, we got a 1/10 of position. Yeah, it went down 10%, but it's not like a killer. It'd be like a regular person losing 1%. You're not going to sweat it. But that's it, and there's only 1,400 days with the RSI. I'm not an RSI person. Relative Strength Index is what it means. You got to buy it according to this. And again, these are stats and stuff, but I'm in the material sector. I got the 3 material stocks. So I just watch it because this is tough. This is a tough year. You think come up here, wow, look at this, we're doing great, we're great, and then pow. But you got to look at it, it's still a little bit better than the other ones. Now these little death crosses are coming up there for the sector, and take it where you mean. But I just think the economy is what people are watching in the material sector. They want it to go up, they want it to run, and we got flat Europe and flat China and Asia. Toll Brothers, again, not a material stock, but look at this, downhill ski slope. Holy smokes. And a little bit of green today and yesterday, but this is it. I mean, they're having problems now. How do you know they were really sky high? Because the 50 and the 20-day moving average are way above the 200. That's how high they were. So they can come down. Now, while we're below the 200, this is really, if you're thinking about a sector that you think, well, what could happen? Okay, I'm watching it. 170, if you get it over half, be around about 85. I don't know how low it's going to be, but there's going to be a lot of shakeout in the next 2 weeks with the people selling out of the things. I like holding the stocks. I don't like paying taxes. So to me, I'll sell the dogs and just ride the winners. And like I said, I sold some of the winners and took some profits. And oh my God, it's a fortune in tax bills. Like, oh, I won't do that again. Nike, I'm telling you, Hoka and a couple other shoe companies. Hoka's owned by Deckers, or Deck as the stock is called. I mean, they're just smoking Nike. I mean, they are small. I see it all the time in the gyms. There's all the retired stars of Nike are gone. They're retired and everything else. And, you think about who's the hot players. They're not Nike people, What do you want to get in there? What do people buy? Well, I mean, you look at what got the ratings, the fight of the year, Jake Paul. I would be hopping him on tennis shoes or something, because he's got the ratings award with him. He fought Mike Tyson. Get Mike Tyson endorsing shoes. Hey, I'm 60 years old and I like to box and I walk in these shoes when I want to be casual and take it easy on my feet. These are things that you don't look at. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, what were the rating ones? Well, it's always a Super Bowl. And all right, well, we got the Super Bowl champions and stuff. Who's going to be in there this year? Maybe the Lions. Everybody thinks the Chiefs in there. Well, there's your candidates. Get these people out on the shoes. I mean, take about the 5 or 6 big rating events in the year for sports or other things. Why not try to go in there? Why not work with the Disney movie Mauna Loa? I'm butchering the name, Manoa, but why not try to sit there and try to do a cartoon tie-in with shoes? Because make a shoe that's got that theme, the Hawaiian theme. I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud. And revenues fell. Why? Because I'm not buying Nike shoes. I don't know anybody buying the Nike shoes, and it can get much worse. It's already bad. I mean, you look at over here, 110 to 76, and people, it'll turn around, It'll turn around when the revenues go up. It's not the inventory. They're having problems getting people to buy these shoes, and the other shoes are just as good and comfortable, and people are liking it. Super Micro, remember, it got delisted from or not delisted, I don't want to say that word, not delisted, got an extension from delisting, but they are removed from the S&P 500. Fastest entry and exit of a 500. Then NVIDIA asked them and Dell to go out and look and see where the artificial AI chips from NVIDIA are in the Chinese thing. Well, of course, I'd want to know all about it. They're in the Chinese products, which I don't know which products. I don't know which, but apparently it's the, they're in the server of Microsoft and, I mean, not Microsoft, but Supermicro and Dell. So it is buying that complete set. And, I look at Michael Dell and Dell, they're pretty good financially, not having problems. And guess who's having problems? And if you're having problems, maybe you have for a little bit more and you kind of sell it to your buddies over in China because you could really use the money to shore up the finance. I don't know. That's it. You can make a story that fits. I don't know if that's the story, but the fact is we have NVIDIA chips which are banned to go to China in Chinese products. I don't know what the product is. Just tell me what it is. Not in the normal data centers, because I mean, did somebody go over to China data center, take a picture? I'd like to see that picture. But somebody's out there putting it in, and I was going to say it's Taiwan Semiconductor, no, but they got the package. So if you took Taiwan Semiconductor, you wouldn't have used Supermicro or Dell. You would have probably used somebody else from Japan or Korea or somebody else. But we'll see. So the mystery deepens, as we call it, and we might find out it could be Supermicro. I don't know. I really don't know. It's just it just kind of looks at when you got problems, You look at people who have financial problems first. Lilly, we added it today to the portfolio. I mean, look at this thing. It was 960, whatever it was, dropped down to 750, and went up a little bit because of the Novo Nordisk thing. But we've been watching a while, and I just kind of looked at it. If you just drew a line, from February, it's really the same spot. So Lilly, since February, has been dead money. If you just look at the results of it and everything else. Of course, it went from 650 to 750. So yes, you got probably 18%, 15% gain, well below the S&P 500. Well below the Nasdaq. So, but I look at it. You got Alzheimer's drug, you got weight loss, you got the diabetes drug. Lilly's Blaze is doing everything right, and I think you got to get into it. And like Kramer says, oh, you got to get it split because then people will buy more. Okay, if they can't buy it at 760 and they can only buy 150, then what are they going to buy? One share? You can go to Robinhood and buy a tenth of a share or something. So I don't know. I mean, I just think it's just a good product. We're now in the best two healthcare, in my opinion, Novo Nordisk and Lilly, for GLP-1 drugs, and we got a couple other ones. But again, it was so high. I mean, it was just such a high-priced, high PE stock, and pays literally nothing for dividends. So we wanted to get into it, but we just had to wait, and now I think the time is good. And then retail XRT, I always think of WXRT, the radio station in Chicago. Overall, been an ugly chart, but again, we got to go back. 200-day moving average for retail has been good. Go over here around 70. Retail is about 20% higher. Not a great thing. Then it dropped down, so we're about 15% higher than last year, which is not bad. And nothing over here except for ELF, my favorite stock that I don't own now because we owned it and just Ultras tanked it, and all these other ones. So probably get it back into ELF. If you have to pick a stock, we'll probably buy it back in January. It'll be ELF, 39%. But again, if there's tariffs, ELF, who has a lot of products overseas, could take a brunt of that. So we'll have to see. We don't know. I mean, you got to remember, if you've been around 216 to 19, things change. You can say one thing and do the other over. So I'm not looking for conviction and everything else. If the wind's blowing one way, it might just change the whole thing. But we own the two biggest retailers. Also, I think the best overall retailers. Now remember, we're not looking for stuff. Walmart's up about 5% from quarter to quarter a year ago. Amazon's 11%. And when you start looking at it, Brinker and Chipotle are just a little bit above it, and Lululemon. But you're talking about the two best are really doing well. And we go out here at 55, you're almost at 80% up. PE's high for Walmart. I mean, that's high. But little dividend, like a Lilly dividend, I call it. But this is a beautiful chart. I love it when it's a nice and slow slope upward, and you just put it away, collect the dividend of whatever you can get, and just relax, because it's doing well. People are doing well. It's killing Dollar Tree, which I never thought was possible. And Amazon, look at the cap. Walmart, 741, 2300. And of course we got the data centers and everything else true in Amazon. But hey, look at this. The gold cross, went up. 50-day went up right here. It didn't really cross though, but it it kind of bounced, as I call it. But Amazon's doing good, and if you go you go back at the beginning of the year, I kind of wish I made this longer, but that's okay. February is just as like anything else. But since February, look at this, 170 to 270. That's not bad. That'll take it. And of course, the week was ugly. I mean, Wednesday was a bad day, and you can see most of the stuff never really recovered today to go green. I mean, we have Google in here to go in there, and the video, surprising enough, was even for the week, but it was pretty ugly. I mean, there wasn't really much to be positive, and again, we're predicting some kind of pullback before the 20th, and we'll see. I mean, it doesn't have to happen, but I just think, been around, I think it will happen. Only need 2.5% more, and I don't want to get it just to show that I'm right. That'd be the stupidest reason. But it's been a long day, a hard week, and we'll see you. Have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and I will be back next Saturday. See you then.